This is Nathan and welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to continue looking at the alternative future world. In the last episode, we had the West African Federation form. If I can change to the name, because that's such a mouthful. We saw a massive war between Ethiopia and Egypt. Well, not massive, but it actually was. Well, big war between Ethiopia and Egypt, which... Hang on a minute. Which made Ethiopia quite weak, so they joined the East African Federation. Speaking of them, they are most likely the second strongest country in Africa. And in real life, this wouldn't be that strong. This would probably in the 50s. But in this timeline, the DRC and Ethiopia, they're really powerful areas, as well as Tanzania. They're really developing. They have the help from the USA, and that's really helping them. But also in the last video, we saw Iran invade Afghanistan, the disbanding of the CSTO, the PDO being formed, Peru breaking out to itself. Yeah, it was a very eventful video. And we're gonna begin, hang on a minute. This is a brand new map, because I don't know why Australia is not coloured in. It should be coloured in Australia. So the world right now is peaceful. Yemen? Okay, this is a random map. I'm sorry some stuff is wrong, but hang on, let me just do this. Alright, Yemen no longer exists. But what I'm trying to say about the world no longer be the world's kind of neutral. NATO, WGO, WGO is kind of they're not getting any new members. The only countries that I really want to join is maybe Ireland or Tunisia. Or maybe Bosnia, but that's unlikely. Azerbaijan's is a partner. They're not actually in the alliance. I think I did have them kind of name, but I don't think I said they're a partner. I don't remember. Russia's becoming less of a threat because Putin's dead. Definitely in this timeline. This is nearly 2100 we're on about. So yeah, the new guy's kind of he doesn't hate people, but he's expansionist. But problem is, he can't really expand anywhere. Georgia wants to join NATO. Azerbaijan wants to join WDO. Kazakhstan is neutral, and honestly, they couldn't read Kazakhstan. 5%, damn it. Well, they could invade Mongolia, but that would probably lead to something with China. But in reality, Russia's kind of having issues. Same with China and Kazakhstan. Okay. So, yeah, Asia's kind of the two big powers in Asia kind of just running around with fire on their hair. India and Iran are the other powers. They're kind of just watching it. But we're gonna come over to South America where stuff is happening. For God's sake. So in the last video, Brazil invaded Peru. Dude, should I PlayStation? Brazil is honestly kind of... I don't know, I can't really say anything about Brazil. South America's not really had any changes, except from, obviously this area. I don't know, maybe oh god. This area of South America's had a lot of changes. Not Bolivia. But that might change in a minute, because, Argentina and Brazil their relations are kind of broken. Bolivia and Chile are kind of getting into it now. Bolivia wants access to the sea, but Chile said no. Paraguay's in the middle of all this, and they're kind of well, they hate everyone. That the leader said that they hate Brazil and Argentina, but they would much rather side with Argentina. Uruguay would side probably with Brazil. Yeah, South America's on fire. Why are you blue? And then obviously there's the Guyanas. French Guiana is actually going to get their independence right now. And South Peru is kind of... Well, South Peru can't really do anything because they're more of like the puppet of Russia. So yeah, the world is pretty much neutral except for South America and Asia. But we're gonna... I don't know... Where should I begin? Okay. So, let's talk about a country in NATO. Turkey. Turkey is slowly but surely kind of moving away from NATO as just a whole. WTO. Turkey sees its own path. What Turkey sees is basically a Neo-Ottoman Empire, and obviously NATO's not going to allow it. So, this might be a shocking to you, but probably for the first time ever in a series, we are going to have a country leave the WTO. Now that Russia is more of North Iran, they probably fire Iran. There's no chance. They could fire Iran. Saudi Arabia is not really a threat. And Egypt, Israel, and Jordan are technically allies with them. So, I mean, Turkey decides that they're surrounded by one enemy, so they can fight the enemy, so they decide to leave. Yep. Probably not expected. Not probably expected. So that's gonna hurt NATO, because that was probably one of like their top. That was one of the top strongest. Obviously, they still have like the powers: France, UK, Germany, and USA, Colombia, Canada as well. But that's gonna kind of hurt. Turkey was probably the second biggest personnel. Well, yeah. Ouch. Speaking of alliances, we're going to have a new one created up here between... Pink? Purple seems good. This is going to be a new alliance created between Egypt, Libya, Sudan, and Eritrea. Sudan was kind of invaded in like in World War III, but the new government is kind of more pro-Egyptian. Also, Eritrea is here because Egypt's supporting them. Egypt and Libya, I don't think I even mentioned this at all, but after the First World War, they became very close allies, like extremely close, probably best friends. Egypt side, also this one is called North African Access. Each side that honestly they don't really care about anyone. This alliance is an expansionist, if it isn't obvious. But now it's finally time to go into South America, where Brazil finally fired on Argentina. Brazil killed over 100 Argentinian troops, and with this, Argentina and Brazil finally had their war declaration and declared war on each other. Now, this is not good, obviously. You don't want a war, but this one, it's gonna be a continental one. Like, yeah, continental. Straight away, Paraguay joins the side of Argentina, like they said. Now, the only country that probably won't get involved here is going to be North Peru and South Peru, because, yeah, Colombia and Venezuela are going to get involved. Now, next country to join the blue side will be Bolivia. Bolivia hates Chile, and speaking of Chile, they're going to be joining the red side. Now, straight away, the world's like, what? In reality, everyone knew, like, South America was kind of having some issues, but nobody expected it to be a continental war. Uruguay is going to be joining the red team, because Uruguay is basically just Brazil at this point. They're close allies, so why not? We have Guyana joining the red team because Guyana and Brazil are quite close allies. Suriname, French Guiana. They're not going to really. I don't know. They would pick us. They probably wouldn't pick a side. But just for this, Suriname and French Guiana are also going to join the red team. And this is actually because they're going to unite. Yep, that's right. 3 completely different speaking areas. Dutch, French, and English. They all unite. They just see this better. So we have all 3 of these countries coming in and uniting and joining the war on the side of Brazil. At this point, this is a content war. It looks really unfair for Argentina. So they're gonna call in one of their allies. Yeah, this is not. I'm not joking. This is probably gonna be the biggest war, except for, like, obviously World 3. Argentina is gonna call in Mexico. I told you it's gonna be a big war. With this, Colombia's like, no, we're not having that. Colombia is saying no, we're not having that, and they join the side of Brazil. Now, before anybody says, wait, why is that not activating WTO? It can't. Colombia joined the war. Venezuela, which is dead basically, is going to decide to join the red team because, well, they're the allies on the red team. North Peru is going to join the red team as well, just to be supportive, because they basically are just basically Colombia and Brazil. And finally, the last country to join is going to be South Peru. I did say South Peru wouldn't join, but Russia doesn't care. Russia decides that this is just out of their business. South Peru is already weak. So this is something, isn't it? The USA decides that this is obviously not good, but they leave it. If the USA were to do anything, this would probably escalate into a full-on American war. Like 2 continents at war. The USA doesn't like the fact Mexico is on Argentina's side. So let's just begin. Obviously, Argentina and Brazil fight first, so Brazil's kind of ready. So Brazilian troops that were over here immediately exit out and begin the invasion. They captured the panhandle of Argentina with ease. But Argentinians were already being sent here because this was already known for war. We actually have Argentina deciding to do something. That's when let's go for Uruguay, who was not prepared. Uruguay is going to die because they're not that strong. But Brazilian troops do occupy the areas that didn't surrender. Chile's just a mountain. Argentina and Bolivia are just saying no. So Chile's going to go through Bolivia. Chile decides that connecting with Brazil is probably the easier thing. So they send troops in, but surprisingly, there was already Argentinian troops here. So they were ready for this. So they push back and it's a stalemate. North Peru is going to try and do an invasion into South Peru, but this is where Lima is, so North Peru is going to fail until Colombian troops come. Brazilian troops over here are going to start to exit out to Paraguay, who realizes we're not doing this again. Paraguay just remembers back to the three-way war they had to deal with, and they kind of are like, this is going to be the same scenario. Just this time, they actually are not on a three-side war. They're just going up against the strongest country in South America. So yeah, Paraguay's basically wiped out the war immediately. They're the weakest they're one of like the weakest countries in probably the weakest. They're probably one of the weakest countries in South America, and the only parts that are really left is Bolivia and the Argentinian troops. Obviously, we know what's going to happen. Bolivian troops are going to get kicked out, but are going to hold defense in their country. But Argentina is going to hold defense. And what Argentina is basically playing here is just stop Brazil as much as possible. Argentina's trying their best to stop this. Mexico is trying to send supplies through South Yemen? Peru, but it's not really working. Mexico kind of rethinks why they're in this war. He just says, okay. So, they defend themselves, just in case of a US invasion, because that's possible. You don't know what the USA is going to do. Brazil's going to make a bit of a counter-offensive in Uruguay, which is going to cost a lot, because obviously this area is pretty offensive, but it does come at a good cost, as they are able to recapture Montevideo, and basically kind of push out Argentina all the way. But this kind of came at something, because they lost ground in Paraguay, but really not that much. South Peru is trying their best to push back, but eventually Colombian troops and Brazilian troops enter, and South Peru's gonna get smacked. South Peru's probably the weakest country. I'm just gonna say, South Peru and North Peru just got off a civil war. How are they gonna be strong? Now, South Peru was just slaughtered. What Brazil and Colombia are basically doing here is trying to capture the coast. Chile's going to send some troops up, but this is a very small area. But eventually, the Brazilian troops come up with the Chilean troops, and seriously? And before you know it, South Peru doesn't even exist. They lasted one episode, and they're gone already. So yeah, that's one country out of the picture. And Bolivia's like, oh crap. Because, that's a lot of troops coming over to their border. And, yeah, this is not going good. The plan of the red team was to do this, and it's gone extremely well. The blue team's plan was defense. Now, this is a bloody war. Like, don't say this is not realistic. This is obviously a really bloody war. Argentina's gonna try and do counteroffensives, one over here, which doesn't do as well as they thought it would. They are unable to capture Montevideo, but do encircle it, and basically Uruguay is completely captured. And what Argentina's hoping is trying to get peace treaty and at least get Uruguay, even if they lose the Panhandle. All the Brazilian troops here are basically just overwhelmed by the Argentinians and are killed. Now we have Argentina's plan of invading Brazil. Pretty set up. Bolivia and Paraguay are just dying, like, nobody's helping. Like, Argentina is obviously protecting Paraguay and Bolivia, but it's not even looking pretty. Bolivia is getting smacked around. They were most likely they are the second strongest country on this team, and it's not even looking fun for them. There's a humongous encirclement of literally a jungle, and nobody really lives there, so it kind of just goes over to the red team. The Argentinian people have realized this war is not going to work. Mexico's just defending itself. That means they basically left the war. Paraguay and Bolivia are basically lost. Bolivia's still got their most important cities remaining, like La Paz, but that was just captured, which it's going to lead to Bolivia surrendering. I'm not sure we can capture it, there's no point. So yeah, with La Paz being captured, Bolivia thinks this, surrenders. So yeah, it's literally just Argentina versus, like, all of South America. They kind of rushed the plan of invading Brazil really quickly because they don't want to die. So this was kind of rushed, but they're sending all their troops out. Over like 500,000 troops exit out at just a rampage speed. So this does work, but then Brazil comes over and says no. these troops were killed, but they're just not gonna, yeah, Brazil was able to push this back, and it's over for Argentina. Paraguay is completely lost. Uruguay is liberated from Argentina, and now it's gonna go pretty quickly. Brazil already planned this out. They didn't expect Uruguay obviously in Brazilian invasion, but the Yankee round and capture Buenos Aires and Argentina is gone. Yep, that was a pretty bloody war. And Mexico's kind of just like, we're not dealing with this. So let's take a look at this peace treaty. So, Jesus. So, in the peace treaty, yeah, a lot happened. I think the most notable thing is, Peru is now fully united, except for the Mopazutic. The Guianas are now united, just like I said they were going to. Bolivia is a circle, like North Macedonia. Paraguay was fully annexed by Brazil, and Argentina lost a bit of the land in the Panhandle, which looks way better on the map. Now that that's out of the way, the world is basically neutral. Nothing really is happening. Like, I wouldn't say nothing is happening. Obviously, a lot of countries are having like civil unrest, but from there, no other wars really break out. The only possible war people to even see happening is something with China, maybe Russia invading like Ukraine, something happening over here with Algeria and Libya, Turkey invading Iran, India doing something, well, I don't think I talked about this. PDO is trying to make plans to invade Cambodia, but the US is like, why would you want to invade Cambodia? Totally like we've not done that before. So the world's just neutral. For now. Because Asia is literally on fire right now. After the South American Civil War, Russia lost basically the last standpoint in the Americas. Nicaragua and Cuba at this point are kind of like, well, I would say they're not really away from Russia. Cuba's still really with Russia. But for China, they're not really with China anymore. Nicaragua at this point is like, they put two and two together and realized no side is really good. Side with Russia, die by the USA. Side with the USA, die by just, I don't know, just die by not enjoying it. So yeah, the only thing that's happening right now is, Egypt, the North African Axis kind of being like, means Chad and Car, which this guy does not like. Speaking of this guy, they just got two new members, Gabon and Equatorial Guinea. Yeah, the Eastern Federation is really, like, ramping up now. They keep getting new members, and they really only have one threat, South Africa, because this thing's not going to invade them. Or probably would, then I'll be out of a fight. Final thing that's going to happen for this video is Arabia uniting, and now we are... Saudi Arabia, Oman, the UAE, Qatar, and Kuwait, and Jordan, they all decide that they are going to unite. Qatar kind of was off, but I don't really think Qatar would care. They unite just to form Arabia, because, Iran's becoming more of a threat. They really got close with Russia, like even closer than real life. So we have Arabia uniting. That's basically it. The Middle East is like even. Three big powers, and then there's Israel. How does Palestine even exist? I think I'll leave that next episode. But that's gonna do it. Pretty eventful one here, even though there's like no wars. The Brazilian, the South American one was big enough. So that's gonna do it for this video. I'll see you next one. Bye. Oh god, and it.